5, 4, 3. This way?
This way? All right, that countdown's going to sound weird with the AI, I can guarantee it. But anyway.
Why?
If it's a little weird, like when you scream Survivor, it actually sounds like me when it fixed it. Anyway, I digress. Welcome to Self Reality. I'm your host, Angie, and this is my guest host this week, Nick Hanlon.
Hello.
Also host of the Dirty Glass podcast, and my brother. Here at Self Reality Channel, we like to talk about reality TV in all shapes and sizes. We're starting right now with Survivor because it happens to be on right now, but we'll be talking about all sorts of other great things. So for today, let's get to Survivor because that's what we're doing. We're going to recap and react to Survivor episode 47. No, episode 40. Survivor season 47. Episode 3. All right.
Representing Boston Rob today.
Oh, I like it. I like it a lot.
Mentioned during this episode once. Or was it the last episode? I don't remember. Rome mentions them.
They're all blending in together.
There's the Boston Rob. He's got to have a god kid or something, he said.
Oh, he called him the Godfather. It might have been the last episode. He's like, Boston Rob the Godfather? There's got to be a godson somewhere.
Godson,
right?
That's right.
Well, because he is a young fella. So let's talk about this episode. So
first of all, I have a question.
Yes.
Before we get in. When they got brought onto the island,
okay.
Obviously we have blue. We got
Tuku. Yeah. Gata.
Red.
Yeah. Lab.
All of them had accents of those colors in the clothing that they wore.
Yeah.
First episode.
Yes. I think they're told.
I don't think I've seen that.
I have. It's newer. Like it's been, I think, the past few years, but they tell them the color. I'm surprised you're only just laughing.
Well, I noticed it a while ago. I just
yeah.
remembered to bring it up now. I'm like.
They are definitely told the color. They like 100% because there's no way all of them like all the yellow wear yellow. Yeah, like they're so in sync. But like, let's get into it. Overall reaction to just one word. Overall for this episode.
Pick it up.
Oh,
I feel like the show was picking up.
Really?
A bit.
Okay.
It was a pretty good one. You didn't like it?
I have the opposite reaction.
Oh, you think it's still slow?
Rain. I was bored. I actually wrote it on like it just. I don't know if it was just a long week for me, and it was like, let's pick it up. I don't find they're picking up fast enough for me, but I think it's cool that like you found it more fast paced.
I don't know why I call it fast paced, but I just feel like they're starting to pick up steam. I wish there was 2 challenges. They have enough time. There should be 2 challenges. This one challenge stuff, I mean, I get it with the hour. I know there'll probably be 2 challenges when they merge or whatever, not merge. Yeah, merge.
Yeah.
Right, but I mean, all these challenges in the team thing are just the same.
It's so. Again, I'm sorry. Like I found this episode so boring. I kept being like, "Are we almost done?" Like they were literally talking about Sam on Gata, what kind of fruit he has tried.
Yeah.
I'm like, what?
But he's never had watermelon.
I know it's weird, or pineapple. All weird. I mean,
watermelon.
Admittedly, pineapple's weird too.
Wait, that's weird.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Watermelon,
but Nick, like, let's think about like, they're so desperate for content because of the hour and a half that they're talking about fruits and vegetables. But I actually have a question related to this. I was thinking about it this morning. Do you think it's more boring because it's less raw now? Meaning people come in, they've been watching for years, even the young ones, they've been watching this for years. They have very specific strategies. I'm going to hide this about myself. I'm going to be this way about myself. Do you think that is impacting sort of that raw, real personality?
It does a bit, but I thought last season was fantastic.
I don't even remember.
I don't remember. I just remember being...
It was good. Yeah.
Personality types, right? I mean, it seems like the casting this year is like 80% of them are like the same.
Well, and maybe that's where...
Gen Xers are all 20s. early 30s.
But what I find sometimes, because I think millennials, one thing that's really, something I think is really positive about them is they speak a little more respectfully to each other, or they try to be pleasant and respectful and nice, but that doesn't translate for me into like good reality TV. There's got to be some shadiness, there's got to be some digs, there's got to be some like real emotions, but it's almost like maybe they're too self-aware that they cover it. I don't know. Like,
It has a lot to do with casting too.
yeah, you're not.
They
Yeah,
did the cast better because last season it was a little more.
it was.
smash of character. Like the characters were different. It just seems like it seems like 75% of them went to school together.
Yeah, and like so.
Kind of similar.
So let's talk about even, okay, so what were the issues that they focused on? So again, I think they're making a mistake, and you've alluded to this at the start, to doing an hour and a half, because now they got like all this time to kill. So I mentioned they talked about vegetables, and
For the hour and a half, they just need to add some stuff.
then add a reward
Can't
challenge.
we all camp?
Add a reward challenge, because there's nothing going on at camp. So the most exciting conflict at camp was at the Gada tribe between Annika and Sam, and it was basically like, I'm tired, we should build a shelter, let's build a shelter. He's like, we should go fishing because we have fishing gear now. And it's like,
But nobody had any conflict with each other. That was just off-camera talk.
yeah, like it was well, no, you saw a little bit of like
You got a little.
anger, frustration, but like they're hiding it. And again, perhaps it's going to blow up though,
Oh, it'll blow.
because they're not eating, and because she said, I may have slept for 20 minutes. So that all feeds into it. But I'm just saying the first 3 episodes, like one was almost better, but unfortunately it's because I think Andy had a bit of a mental health issue breakdown or something, and he's actually acting pretty, he shifted not too badly so far. What do you think?
Still weird.
Well, yeah, he's a little strange, but like he's building up some trust, right? Like, and doing all that stuff. So
He's doing a lot better than I thought.
I thought he would be just flipping out, right? I think the hardest part with Rome, to me anyway, is his lack of self-awareness. He's actually the opposite. I just gave millennials, actually he might be Gen Z, to be honest, but there's this lack of awareness. So he's out fishing. Listen, and good for him. He's using the sling or whatever, but the fish are this big. And then he's getting mad because people aren't celebrating enough about it, or...
I mean, the part where he ate all the fish was
Oh,
insane. Like, that would have been, yeah. That would have
bad
been,
strategy.
that would have been vote out immediately. Was he? I forget who was in tribal now for some reason.
They did go to tribal, but because remember, if we go a little forward, he already has the immunity idol,
But only good for one tribal.
only good for that tribal. And then he got that, we'll talk about it in a minute, he got that advantage. I was like, oh my God, come on. So he's running around, look at me catching fish. He won't let anyone else go fishing, which I find annoying. And then the fact that he's mad because they're not like up and cooking for him, or up and getting the water ready. Like, I kind of get it, but they're tiny fish. Then he eats it all. So it's like,
They walk around saying it in front of people.
he's not getting enough adoration. And I'm like, dude, you gotta, I actually don't think he's come in with too good of a strategy, if I'm being honest.
I don't think he came with any strategy.
I think he had a bucket.
Just overconfidence.
Yeah, and confidence is fine, but overconfidence to the point of he seems a little arrogant to me, like, becomes problematic, right?
No.
And I think that's what happened with TK as well.
Oh, if I was catching fish, or if you were catching fish, I'd be filling up the water, doing the
Yeah.
fire, blah, 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 walking around saying that stuff in front of people. What are you, stupid?
Yeah, like you gotta, that's what you have to do. You gotta suck it up. You gotta tamp it all down.
He's a sad, sorry sight.
So
He's still in there.
but then he's also doing well but immunities and challenges and advantages are only going to get you so far. So that was crazy. And then remember, he spit some of the food, I don't think it was on purpose, but onto Aisha, who I actually really like. And
Hey, sure.
Asia. It's just spelled A-Y. Sorry, it's A-Y-S-H-A. Asia. Yeah, you're right. Asia. I like her, but we'll talk about her a little bit later. So, then we have more camp. Like, I was interested to see what happened with Kyle because he was so close to TK and see if he melted down. And I think he handled himself pretty well.
I don't know about what's her name.
Sue's starting to show.
Yeah, she's being dumb.
Like,
You gotta let shit go. She can't let it go.
It was like, he wrote my name down. So what? You're all at some point going to write each other's names down. I mean, that's the name of the game. And she's acting a little wackadoodle about it, and I think that's going to be a problem for her. That's really going to be a problem. And he's like, what am I supposed to do with someone who won't strategize?
You gotta work with whoever.
Or lie. Pretend. Be like, yeah, that's right, Kyle. Yeah, I'll work with, like, I think there were two key errors in this.
Your enemy's close.
And I think two people made this mistake in this episode, actually. Sue and Aisha. I think they both made a mistake of, like, not just going along and then just do a blindside. Like, go along with it and do a blindside. Like, it's not smart behavior. I think Sue's a little, like, I understand she's a pilot. She's a flight school owner. She's had to work in a very male-dominated, she's older, so she's gone through a lot of that sort of sexism, right? So I understand that perspective, like, I'm not going to, but you got to put all that aside if you want $1 million.
Yeah, if you want to win or if you want to go far, if you want to get to the merge at least. I mean, she's just like stubborn. Nope,
not working with him ever.
He's clearly, whatever. And I don't think he's, what do you call it? Masochist, not masochist. What's the man thing?
Oh, he's not a
He
misogynist.
doesn't seem like a misogynist. He just seemed like he went along with a plan and nobody told him to switch the plan.
He hooked up with someone who he got along with, who was really strong, right? TK, the arrogance, and he did try to actually help TK to kind of like, hey, man, maybe you should dial it back. I don't think he's misogynist at all. I think he just went with TK, which made sense for him. And now she's like, nope, you wrote my name. Like, that's gonna backfire on her. So, but let's talk about Lavo.
I don't know why he told her that he wrote her name down, though.
Yeah, well, remember, it's your Adderall comment.
Everybody tells everybody everything.
Well, let's talk about the journey. So who was it? It was Kyle, Rome, and Annika. Kyle, Rome, and Annika. And what do they do as soon as they get there? They start sharing tribe secrets. Like, they said who got voted out, and but then Rome was lying.
See, that was a smart thing.
That was smart. See.
He was smart. He's the villain. Obviously, he's the villain.
Oh, 1,000,000%. But like, and that was a smart move.
I'm sure more villains will come out, but yeah, that was smart.
But then the rest are telling truths. Like, what are you guys doing? So they go, and it's that was a weird one. It was basically just like, pick something from the bag.
If I were the other two, I would have picked the guy.
That was my next question. 50-50, you got to try.
I mean, it's coin flip.
You got to try. I can't believe they didn't, so they all lost a vote.
Especially the hit guy. Because he's like, I can't
Kyle.
afford to lose this vote.
Kyle,
Can't afford to lose 2 votes. We'll just pick a thing.
Yeah, like, roll. You got to roll. I'm surprised. Like, they're very risk averse. I think that, honestly, that's kind of why Rome's doing well, too. He's just going with it. Like, he's very...
He did get on the first pick, though.
He did. Of course. I don't know. He did, of course. So then they go back. Kyle tells the truth to everyone, which I think in his position was probably smart. Although I don't know if I'd say I just had no vote.
No, I think he did.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
What I'm saying is, I don't know if I would say. I don't know that I would.
Well, I wouldn't have said anything.
I think I would have done what Annika tried to do, which was basically like, hey, you had to choose. She made up to me, which was
They've done that on.
Yeah. She did something that was like what they used to do, and I thought, well, that's smart. The people who don't like her don't believe her. I don't know if she's just a bad liar or they didn't believe her. And then Rome just lied.
Yeah.
But I gotta tell you, he's not a great liar right now.
He's not a good liar at all.
Because
Saul right through. Was that his name?
Saul, my favorite. Saul is
He
very
doesn't talk very much, right?
but he's starting to, though.
Yeah.
What I like about Saul is he's flying under the radar. He's being quiet. He's so strong in challenges. I have a couple things.
He's a thick dude.
He is, and he's strong. Like, remember the fight between him and Rome?
Yeah.
Like,
It's like, let me do it. Well, please let me. Rome's like, I'll be mad if I.
that just makes.
I mean, Rome did all right, but I think he did fine too.
I think Saul
Saul's
would
gonna back down.
have been fine. And like, what's the point of arguing? Like, because he's been clearly strong at lifting things. He's been strong at swimming. Rome's been strong too. Like, don't get me wrong, but like, you sometimes have to say, yeah, okay, you go ahead. But Saul backed down. He's like, well, I don't want to do it if you're going to be mad. Well, I'll be mad if we lose. He's like, all right, then you do it, man.
Saul's got very little filter.
and
He's filterless.
So I guess he'll make some good TV though, because he's the
No, he's the one. He's the
dramatic
drama one right now for sure.
But what was funny was
I mean, Annika probably.
Jet. Well, we called that too, right? Well, because she's, the hungrier she gets, the less sleep she gets. And she does want things to get done. And I understand wanting the shelter made, by the way. Why don't we have a better shelter, people?
Yeah, if they.
It's day 3. Like, let's.
For them, every day.
Yeah, like,
Is there?
they're probably, between 6 and 8, I think.
Yeah,
Like,
right.
let's get a shelter. Like, let's.
After a week, yeah.
And it's, anyway, so I found interesting the conversation when Rome went back and lied to everyone as well. I don't have a vote. Him going head to head with Saul 1-on-1, he screwed himself because Saul called him out. And what do you I thought Saul calling him out, I haven't seen that very often, was so smart because he got very fumbly. Like, he got even worse at lying.
How old's Saul?
43. He's the oldest left.
He's almost
Or no.
max.
I know. So Saul's like, here's what the conversation, like, he's like, I don't have a vote. I just want to assure you it's Asia. We're going to vote for Asia. Don't worry. And Saul's looking at him going, well, how do I know you're not going to just turn around? You're just telling me that and then you're going to turn around and vote me. Wasn't that? And then
Start saying lots of words quickly.
it's like,
I mean, yeah, he's a bad liar, Rome.
well, he
I don't think
one.
he used to be called out.
That's what I think was smart about what Saul did. He just called him out in the moment, and then it was very fumbly. Not a great liar, good villain, but I think he was able to lie when it was just a group. Yeah, I lost a vote, whatever. But he does not. He's been trying to get Asia and Saul from the day one. Like, he even told the other folks at the Advantage thing, hey, it's Asia and Saul running the show, which is totally not true.
Yeah,
So he's doing some smart.
very smart.
He's doing some very smart moves, but he needs to learn how to filter or dial some of this back and let some things go. And I just don't think he's built that way. How old is that? He's
He can't be more than 25.
he's probably in his 20s. Oh, he's 30.
A very not mature 30.
Yeah. Yeah.
Really young
30.
30.
Yeah. So anyway, like, we'll see how it plays out. So let's talk about the immunity challenge.
Lost steps again?
I tried 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, like 10 steps this time.
I wish on the immunity challenge would make it interesting if Jeff pulled names on who had to do what.
Oh, that would be interesting.
Instead of everybody deciding or whatever.
It's actually an interesting thought because, like, although seeing them decide was interesting because, like, then they were fighting
Yeah.
but they don't normally show the conflict, by the way, and I thought it was interesting they did this time, and I think it's because of the lack of overt conflict at Triumph. They need to do a reward. I think that would solve the problem. So then they, it's a tower and more puzzles and whatever. Oh, I wrote Rome was I just thought he was being an asshole, like, it just to everybody. I didn't like that. Kyle crushed it. Kyle's, like, really strong in challenges, actually.
What's that, the redneck?
Yeah. So he was the first, like, super fast.
Strapping young man.
Andy said he could do it too. I'm good at everything. I can do everything. I'm good at everything. Because I think someone else was kind of volunteering, but Andy said, I'm good at everything. He kind of messed up a bit. He got stuck on that beam. But
Yeah, Andy
remember?
got stuck
Yeah.
many times.
But they didn't lose.
I thought it was going to be the downfall of Andy.
So did I. But then
This is going to go bad for Andy. He fell in the water like 3-4 times.
I know. But then instead it was the downfall of Lavo. Teeny. Yeah. So essentially, who wins? Gata wins, so they get, like, the hammocks, right? Tuku was second, and then Lavo first tribal. So here's another thing I find interesting.
Is Labo red?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, that's right.
Isn't it interesting that each third episode each have gone to tribal, and that's very unusual.
Yeah, usually there's one that goes like half the show without tribal.
When they just crush it, right, the whole time. And
Well,
like,
even teams that way, I guess.
we'll see what happens now that they're kind of voting people out, right? But interesting. So Lavo has their first tribal. Here's partly why it's boring. I think there wasn't a lot of conflict. I think, is there some annoyances happening? Not really a lot of direct conflict. And then Lavo losing, it's already against Asia and Saul.
Not a lot of surprise there.
So there's no surprise there. There's no surprise as to who they're going to vote out, really. I mean, I'll say they did edit it well. I did not know if it would be Saul or Asia.
Neither did I, or somebody else, but you kind of knew.
You knew it was going to be one of them. The thing I found, I thought Asia, and I'm surprised, where she screwed up, because she's like a Survivor podcaster. Like, she knows strategy. When Rome talked, I think it was Rome. I don't even know if it was Rome, maybe Jen. One of them talked to her and was like, listen, we vote Saul. Because I do believe they originally wanted Saul off.
Yeah.
And they're like, vote Saul, put his name down, then your name's not going down. And she was basically, she wouldn't get behind it. It was Keyshawn. She's close with Teeny. It was Teeny, because she's close with Teeny, and then Asia's like, no.
It was Teeny and somebody else talking to her.
Yeah, Teeny and Keyshawn, because there's basically 3 pairs, right? You have Jen and Rome.
You gotta lie.
You just gotta lie.
Just say you're gonna vote for him, make a decision later. Like,
So,
that's her problem right there.
That's what I thought. It was the same as the error made.
No problem. Yeah, I'll vote for that person. So it's
the same
on
as
to you.
his error, right?
Totally.
Like,
As soon as you start arguing about who you're going to vote for, you have the minority.
Yeah.
The target gets moved pretty quick. Because I actually did think Saul was going. I thought it was. I'm glad he didn't.
I'm glad he did. Well, I actually.
I like the Asia too.
I liked her because I thought she was very quiet, under the radar, but strategic, and so was Saul. And I like them because they usually eventually come and like kill it. But she, for a Survivor super fan, I was like, why would you not just say, yeah, Teeny, I'm with you? Like, you have to. There's two. It's one of you guys, or alternatively, why didn't someone throw out Rome's name?
Yeah, Asia, if you watch, obviously you're probably watching this. If you want to come in the comments, maybe we can interview you.
Oh, I'd love to.
Let us know what the heck happened there. And this is just one of those things where it's really hard to do if you're not in your shoes.
Yeah, in that moment.
You're on an island and the people are just talking, and did they edit it in a way that made you look worse?
Yeah, what was the full conversation?
Let us know. Because if you're dead against her, and you knew you're in the minority,
don't you go along? I don't know.
it's a foot and mouth disease, in my opinion.
Yeah, so,
Wow.
But she did say when they had her final interview with the votes, she did say it's a lot harder than it looks. So maybe in that moment, it's for sure harder than it looks. Definitely in that moment, I think she might have just messed up.
The biggest problem with most people is emotion wins over strategy.
Yeah.
Because you think it's real.
But it's not. Yeah.
It is, but it's not.
Well, and I think you do get real connections. That's the whole crux of it. But
It's a lie.
you need to keep in your head $1 million, $1 million.
Yeah, this is a real world. This is like, you gotta lie. That's part of the game.
And I'm surprised that no one tried to talk about how to kind of get Rome or Jen out. Do you know what I mean? Like, that was surprising to me. Maybe they just didn't have the numbers.
I think they all knew Rome had something too.
And you know what? They did. I think so. For sure, Asia and Saul knew. And I think what happened was...
Well, it's because he was looking like a maniac and then just stopped.
Well, then he told somebody. He told Teeny, and Teeny, they found out through Teeny. Can I just comment on Teeny, though? I've written a couple times here. Her strategy has actually been excellent.
Yeah, she's pretty smart.
I'm surprised because when they first had her on like episode 1, I'm like, oh, she looks like she's gonna be like wackadoodle a little
I
bit.
didn't know how it was gonna go.
And I'm impressed. She's very like strategic, smart. She's playing like, getting along with everyone. So, she's one to watch as well. I think if Saul can get Rome out, I think he'll be one to watch because I think he's very likable as well. So Teeny, I think, is doing a good job. I was kind of hoping with Tribal that it would be one of those situations when Asia and Saul looked at each other. I'm like, oh, are they all going to start talking to each other?
Start talking too.
Because those are my favorite. So of course it ends up being Asia goes home. A bummer, but it was her or Saul, which I didn't like any of those options. It was.
Yeah, she seemed pissed.
Oh yeah, she was.
So I'm not gonna lie, that hurt.
Well, that's just the whole thing. I found, but didn't you think it was interesting that there were out of 6 people, 4 had votes?
No, really.
So it was Jen.
So Saul and Asia. Yeah.
So Jen got a vote from Asia.
That's right.
Saul got a vote from Teeny because Teeny probably didn't want to throw it against Asia because they were close. Rome got one from Saul. And actually, Asia even said, was it you, Saul? And he said no, and he was telling the truth, which is nice. And then Asia, it was Rome, Jen, and Keyshawn.
Did Rome play as idol?
Yeah.
That's right.
And I would too. If it was the only one I can use it on, I would be like, I don't want to go home. And then they flashed to like the others that went home with it last season.
No, 100%.
So I think that kind of covers it. I think like it was, again, maybe you're like, maybe I'm just missing the picking up, but I just find.
I don't know, with all these votes thrown around, though, there's going to be some drama at that tribe next week.
Well, with everyone's name coming up, the only name that didn't come up from that tribe was so you had Jen, Saul, Roman, Asia all got. So Teeny didn't come up. So she's and Jen. Oh no, Jen did come up, and Kishan. And there are those. He's the ER doctor. So those are the two.
I like him. I forgot to mention that I like him.
Oh, a lot.
He's a.
I think.
I just learned how to swim 8 months ago. That guy.
Yeah, and he's so positive.
He seems like a smart guy.
So, I wanted to point out. One last thing about tribal Kishan. He goes, there's a solid 4 or something. He alluded to there just being the foursome.
Well, I found that interesting too.
And I was like, was that on purpose or by mistake?
I don't know.
So I'm not sure. But I like him. I just think, I don't know if that was a strategy, but like.
When they asked him, is there a 4? He's like, maybe.
So I think maybe it was a bit of a mistake.
A mistake, or it was a really smart drop.
It was
there is a 4.
But I think it's shifting, right? I think right now the 4 is based upon the fact that they kind of have to work with Rome until they get his advantage out. And then once they get that out, they're going to get him out, I think.
Rome will be on the docket on the next one if those guys go again. But who knows?
Who knows?
Episode 4, they might switch up the tribes. Who knows what's going to happen next week? I never watched the next week.
I do. Again, it's not super interesting, so I guess we'll see. And I think that's all I had for this one. So what's your overall score out of 5?
2.5.
Okay, so you gave it. I'm like a 2. I just it didn't pass for me. It was just so that would be that's a fail.
Did the next week clips make it look more exciting?
A little bit. I also saw like something on Facebook or whatever talking about it. Like it was essentially like, this is the most chaotic cast ever. It's kind of not though. And it's fascinating. Everyone's like, they're trying to pump it up, I think, because it's not. Like, maybe, like, it's just not. I'm hoping next week, now that everyone's gone to tribal, right? Everyone's had a vote out. Everyone's getting more tired, more hungry, all the stuff. Let's see. I still have faith. I still will keep watching. It was just, I literally kept being like, is this over yet? Is this, when it's like, it was over.
They're more chaotic than the first year Rupert was on. I mean, the pirate stuff, and Rupert was stealing everybody's shoes.
No, that was Russell. I don't think it was Rupert.
No, Rupert.
Rupert didn't steal shoes.
Yeah, he did, because they were pirates. You will have to Google it.
Okay,
which one?
You do keep calling him a pirate. I, for some reason, thought it was Russell.
The first season he was on was a pirate
theme, right?
Show, and that's even the year they brought somebody back that got voted out. It's the only time they did that. And remember that stupid girl one. I think that's.
I have such a.
I only remember certain things, but I'm pretty sure he stole people's shoes.
I know someone stole shoes. I always thought it was Russell.
Because they went to like a shopping place to get stuff, and people left their shoes. You'll have to look it up.
I'm gonna have to look it up. I'll flash it across.
Because he was like, we're supposed to be pirates. The guy with the big beard, nice guy.
I like Rupert. He's like a fan favorite. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he made it to the 50.
He's never won a season, but he's won $1 million. He won $1 million for fan favorite one.
Yeah. Well, because he does seem like a lovely guy. So anyway,
he's a counselor, guidance counselor.
So that's it for that. Let us know what you think. Like, what were your takeaways? Did you like it more like Nick did, or did you think it was wah? Like, let us.
I mean, I gave it a 50%.
No, you didn't give it a.
I just think it feels like it's going to start picking up after this one.
This could be a slow burn. Like, it absolutely, sometimes.
It can be boring until merge.
I know. Like,
it's happened many times.
It's happened. Well, it's been 47 seasons. It's happened. It's just, I'd
like to see them do a season without tribes. Just all individual.
Maybe they'll do that for 50. Wouldn't you love to see them all together? No, they're not going to, because I think instead they're going to have more people and have like 4 tribes. They're going to do 20 or something. You know what I mean? And have
4 tribes.
4 tribes or 5 tribes. Like, they've done 4 tribes before. Like, they'll do 5 tribes of 5 or 4 tribes of 5 or something. You know what I mean? So that...
Longer season. Because it used to be 39 days. Now it's 29, I think.
Okay, mostly
I think it's shorter than
ago.
I think it's shorter than it used to be. No?
I think it's still 39. I don't know.
I
Anyway,
think it's 20. Look it up. I think there's less people even. But you have to go back.
there's so many. Okay.
Well, because like the first 5 seasons, they went like the whole year. They didn't start doing 2 seasons a year for a few years in.
Maybe you're right. I'll look it up and flash it. Anyway, thank you for watching. I'm forgetting. I should say at the start. Please hit the like button, subscribe. Let us know what you think of our reviews. Do you want us to talk about anything else, any other shows? While you're at it, go check out a very fun podcast, the Dirty Glass Podcast. Again, just search Dirty Glass Podcast. Go over, subscribe. Tons and tons of great content over there. So you go over there, drink with Nick, come over here, watch Survivor with us, or you can do both. Nick representing Boston Rob.
We are.
All right. Thank you for watching. Cheers. Bye. You're dirty Boston hat. It's pretty filthy, actually.
It is pretty filthy. This one I die.
I know you have to wash it up or something.